Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And man, one of the toughest political positions it seems to be in these days and times is to be the mayor of some of our major cities. You've got LA Mayor Karen Bass, who's in hot water based on how she handled the California wildfires. Of course, we know Brandon Johnson in Chicago is having a tumultuous time as a first-term mayor with the migrant situation in Chicago, crime, violence, gun violence, assaults. We also know that the mayor of New York had recently been indicted, and now they're talking about dropping his charges, and his entire cabinet is falling apart. And then you have the mayor of Oakland, California, who just got indicted by the feds. And now I want to tell you a story about the mayor of San Francisco and the debacle that has taken place there in San Francisco. And she has been recently removed. These are all blue cities, primarily Democrat. And this one in particular with San Francisco has an alignment with Black Lives Matter and defunding the police, and what has led to the entire decimation of San Francisco through property damage, assaults, all kinds of crimes. Fortune 500 companies have left Oakland and San Francisco as a result of these liberal laws. And this mayor was behind a lot of these liberal laws that have been taking place and have destroyed San Francisco. And as a result, she's gone. But let's talk about what led up to this. Her name, Mayor London Breed's controversial defunding of San Francisco law enforcement. And that Mayor London Breed, it's a female. In the heart of San Francisco, a maelstrom of controversy has emerged, centered around Mayor London Breed's persistent efforts to curtail the city's law enforcement capabilities. From her early career as a member of the Board of Supervisors to her current mayoral tenure, Mayor Breed's commitment to dismantling the criminal justice system has remained a focal point. Despite her intentions to reform, recent actions have evoked questions about the implications of her approach on public safety and the city's security landscape. So this is surrounded around public safety. So you got to know who you are voting for in your city and state legislature just as much as your federal, and who's going to be the president. These kinds of laws that are legislating, these politicians you're putting in there, the way that they are managing your city has a direct effect on you. And this is a prime example of what happened in San Francisco. So she has a legacy of reform. Mayor Breed's crusade against the traditional incarceration system, stemming from personal experiences with incarcerated individuals, has been a driving force behind her political career. Her 2015 declaration to dismantle the system of mass incarceration signified a radical departure from conventional policies, setting the stage for a series of transformative changes within San Francisco's criminal justice system. So look at the caveats here. It's all about the dismantling of the police department and trying to reduce incarceration. But she wants to reduce it by reducing and defunding the police and allowing folks to steal up to $950 a day out of Walgreens or wherever with no accountability. This makes no sense. So shifting priorities in San Francisco. San Francisco has long been recognized for its progressive criminal justice approach, emphasizing rehabilitation over imprisonment. I can agree with some of that. However, the city's recent shift toward diverting criminals from traditional incarceration has sparked public outcry. The surge in open-air drug dealing and drug-related fatalities has highlighted the limitations of this lenient approach, leading to a palpable sense of insecurity within the community. Here's about her ambiguous stance and the public backlash. Amid mounting pressure, Mayor Breed's attempts to increase law enforcement presence have been met with skepticism. Despite minor increases in the jail population, street-level crime rates remain alarming, calling into question the city's commitment to public safety. The city's reputation as one that uses leniency without firm enforcement has intensified public frustration and concern about public safety. And then we go into the defunding declaration and her contradictory actions. Mayor Breed's 2020 endorsement of the nationwide movement to defund the police marked a significant turning point in San Francisco's law enforcement landscape, despite subsequent attempts to present herself as pro-public safety. Her decisions to freeze the deputy sheriff and police hiring in 2022 and allocate $120 million from law enforcement to the African American community in 2021 indicates a consistent trend of budget cuts and reallocation to things like Black Lives Matter, casting doubt on the city's ability to maintain law and order. So she reallocated $120 million that was designed for the San Francisco Police Department. She removed that $120 and wanted to go to a nonprofit gun violence prevention program, and it didn't work. Violence and crime went up and not down, and the number of police officers on the force went down. Here's the issue with the sheriff's office struggle. The San Francisco Sheriff's Office has found itself in a precarious position, grappling with diminished resources and a surge in criminal activity. Mayor Breed's persistent budget cuts and policy shifts have strained law enforcement's capabilities, leaving the city more vulnerable to crime. The reduction in law enforcement officers and the introduction of civilian-led crime teams have brought into question the effectiveness of Mayor Breed's reformist approach. So here again, she went from defunding the police in manpower and in funding, and she reallocated those sources to these nonprofit gun violence prevention programs where we're going to self-police ourselves, and it has not worked. Crime has increased in San Francisco and in Oakland. The civilization of law enforcement and its implications. The city's embrace of civilian-led initiatives has drawn attention to the broader ideological conflict between reformist agendas and the imperative upholding of public safety. While proponents argue for a more community-oriented and empathetic policy approach, critics highlight the inadequacy of such strategies in addressing the complex challenges of urban safety, as evidenced by the continued prevalence of crime and insecurity on San Francisco's streets. Silent defunding and unaddressed police shortages. Board of Supervisor Safari exposed Mayor London Breed for quiet cutting. Mayor London Breed. Recent revelations have shed light on Mayor Breed's discreet budgetary maneuvers, including the failure to increase the police department's recruitment budget, despite multiple requests from Police Chief Scott. So the numbers are down. This inaction has left the San Francisco Police Department with a significant shortage of needing at least 700 officers, highlighting the consequence of silent defunding on law enforcement capabilities and public safety. Mayor London Breed's fervent commitment to reforming San Francisco's criminal justice system has resulted in contentious and turbulent periods for the city's law enforcement agencies. While her advocacy for reform and resource reallocations aligns with progressive ideologies, the adverse impact on public safety and the growing concerns about the city's security underline the pressing need for a balanced approach that prioritizes both reform and the maintenance of law and order. As San Francisco continues to grapple with rising crime rates, the imperative for a comprehensive and sustainable strategy that addresses both community needs and public safety remains paramount. What an incredible story. Here again, this is just common sense. You don't need a PhD in political science. We need a strong police force. Some of the things that remind you of a healthy and sustainable society: we need hospitals. We need a healthy fire department, police department, grocery stores. We need healthy schools that are funded with all kinds of resources, arts, sports. You're seeing this across many of our urban cities where there has been an immediate defunding of the arts and ancillary services in many of our middle and high schools, where these kids do not have the same activities that I was afforded back in the 80s. That is a major problem. And now you're seeing, as a result of Black Lives Matter and the national movement with that, and this huge proponent of defunding the police, that we have numbers that are way down for our law enforcement. For example, in St. Louis, Missouri and St. Louis County needs about 500 to 600 officers. New York City, which has the largest police department in the country, needs about 4,000 to 5,000 police officers. Chicago needs about 2,500 to 3,000 police officers. And here in San Francisco, they need about 700 police officers. In the state of Louisiana, the governor put out a state of emergency where the entire state, let alone New Orleans, they need about 2,000 police officers. So you're seeing this movement across the entire country where these numbers of people wanting to become police officers and us sustaining great police officers is a real issue for our public safety. And for this Mayor Breed to go out and to consciously make a decision to take $120 million out of the police department's funding and reallocate it to a nonprofit or to many nonprofit agencies for self-policing has not worked at all. Homelessness is through the roof in San Francisco and Oakland and LA. Joblessness is through the roof. Looting, stealing, property damage, assaults are all on the rise in the state of California. This is a major problem starting at the very top with Governor Gavin Newsom. These liberal laws, these cashless bail systems are not working. People have to be accountable for the discriminate, illegal things that these folks are doing. You're also seeing in San Francisco and Oakland where In-N-Out Burger, Walgreens, many of your banks, many of your Fortune 500 companies are leaving and closing their doors. You're even seeing that in St. Louis, Missouri. Chicago has a 50% vacancy in commercial real estate in downtown Chicago around the Magnificent Mile. So we're seeing a dilapidation of many of our cities based on the level of crime that is taking place and the unpopularity of supporting our police departments based on a few bad apples and a few bad circumstances that make national news. We need proper policing. Even in our jails and our prisons, the numbers are down for correctional officers, who are the police officers of our jails and our prisons. We don't have enough sheriffs in the sheriff departments in St. Louis, Missouri, in Fulton County, in Atlanta. These are issues that are vibrating and reverberating across our entire country's landscape. And we need a wake-up call. And we have to make these individuals, especially our mayors, our city council people, our aldermen, our alderwomen, to make them accountable, our governors, our lieutenant governors. We need to know who they are, our state senators, our state Supreme Court, how they're legislating these laws that are affecting us each and every day. And as a result of this particular storyline on this mayor, London Breed, this black female woman, they finally ousted her and she's gone. Now, maybe the city of San Francisco can work on a resolution for restoring a healthy public safety, a healthy commercial real estate, a healthy business climate. Maybe they can start focusing on the homeless issue, the opioid crisis, now that they have this mayor out of office and trying to defund everything that had to deal with policing San Francisco. And by the way, the city just right next to it, the mayor of Oakland has been indicted also. So these mayors need to do a wake-up call, and the feds are going to be busy on dealing with these politicians that are not doing the right thing. Tell me what you think about this case of San Francisco Mayor London Breed's controversial defunding of San Francisco's law enforcement agencies. And as a result, there's been nothing but chaos and disruption going on in San Francisco. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.